I was born in Portland, Oregon.
I was born in Torreon, Mexico.
I was born in Portland, Oregon.
I was born in El Salvador.
I was born in Portland, Oregon.
I was born in Orange County, California, in the city of Orange.
My family is from San Rafael La Independencia, so it's about 8 hours away from Guatemala City.
My family is from Mexico. My mom's from Cuernavaca, Morelos, and my dad is from Tasco, Guerrero.
My dad is from Guadalajara and my mom is from Mexico City.
My family is from Torreon.
My mom's from Veracruz and my dad's from Michoacan.
In a fun, loud, music-filled.
We love to dance. We don't need an excuse to have a party. We don't feel bad for it.
Always food in the houses. There's always hospitality. People are always welcoming you, bringing you things.
I've come from a family of immigrants. I grew around gang violence, just poverty. Parents, when I was young, they couldn't really afford to feed me and make bricks to be able to get some money in Mexico and pay for tortas and just candy and sodas, just anything that could make me survive on a day-to-day basis. I've always been a hard worker. Life here in the U.S. is super easy compared to the life that your parents might have had.
We came to the United States when I was 3 years old. I was carried over. I was 3 years old, so I don't remember what the crossing was like, but I know that my family did use a coyote, and for part of the journey we were in an airplane. Hispanic community, we discriminate against each other already, and then because I grew up with Hispanics, there was always that stratification of we're lighter skinned, more recent immigrant, we're documented versus not documented. Then you're placed in a mostly white culture.
It sucks sometimes, like here in Portland, because St. John's is getting full of, they're kind of kicking out all the Hispanics and they're getting people who have high income, and that's usually white people. So St. John's is just full of white people, and it's sad.
Then you have that experience of being different. I have been followed around at a store.
Whenever we go to the store and my dad has to speak to the people, he always has a really thick accent. So the people start looking at us like we don't know what we're doing, and it kind of makes us feel stupid.
I have been asked or told that I speak English good, and it takes all my effort not to correct them and say, no, I speak English well, thank you. At my own house, if I own the house, as opposed to do I work at the house. I had a teacher in 7th grade who would say, you brown people don't know anything.
It was hard just because we have a lot of stereotypes of Hispanics not having their dads or stuff like that. So I kind of fit in that stereotype, and it's hard because when you have homework, your mom can't really help you. You kind of have to depend on yourself, or your brother to help your sister. You don't really have.
When you're in a white environment, you might be the only brown person that they ever actually connect with. So I make sure that I speak extra clearly and use extra nice words that will represent my culture well. And this is why I keep on telling my brown kids, I'm like, stop doing that. You're representing me when you do that.
I know that Latinos right now are suffering different ways and forms.
So I went to a white school. I used to get made fun of for being Hispanic, and they used to call me immigrant and that I should go back to my country.
One thing is obviously what you see on TV in terms of political aspects. Donald Trump being right now, this person who has a lot of power and is affecting how Latinos are represented in this country.
I think being raised in Portland was difficult because it's no secret that we're a predominantly white state.
The process to get the visa and to get the permanent residency was very lengthy. I had to wait for more than 6 months before I was able to actually look for a job here in the U.S.
My own student population was 99% Hispanic, so coming to Portland a little bit over 5 years ago, and my first thought was, oh my God, where are the brown people? In LA, you would see them everywhere. Here, I looked for them behind cooking counters, as chefs, at Costco, everywhere I went, and I saw none. So that was a little worrisome for me because I stood out among the white crowds. And I think over the last 5 years, I've seen that change, the dynamics, and the people are migrating to Portland. So I think it's getting a little more different.
And growing up, I I was just borderline, like, am I friends with the Hispanics? Am I friends with the whites? Am I friends with the blacks, the Asians? Like, where do I fit in? So when I would hang out with my Hispanic friends, I always felt like I wasn't Hispanic enough for them, because most of them came straight from Mexico, and they spoke fluent, and they had accents, and they were like, who is this güera? You know, like, she's not us. When I would hang out with Caucasian people, they would think that I was too Hispanic for them.
They say I'm either too Mexican for something, or they say I'm too white for something. So it kind of makes me feel like I don't know where I'm supposed to be at.
I 100% am proud of that. I will always be proud of my heritage. The image of the Latino is getting damaged.
Never. I would nunca, jamás would I ever be ashamed of where I come from.
I really like their music because it's different from other kinds of music, and there's so many different variations.
I love that the Hispanic culture is so eclectic.
The language, the food, dance.
Very positive and colorful and beautiful.
One of the things that makes the Hispanic culture so special is its diversity. Sometimes we think about Hispanic as one group of people or Latinos as one group of people. And what I appreciate is that Hispanic people come from all over the world, many, many cultures that are so rich and different and connected to each other.
I think we need more Latino babies.
Some things that I appreciate about Spanish culture is like Spanish soap operas.
The community, connection of generations, the finding the value in families and people being together, how you cherish that, and how that is very different than what's in US, where that connection is pushed away.
So what I'm trying to say is that we are growing as one. Our community is definitely having more social, economic advantages now. And I think that we will continue to do this. We will, we're growing like California. And soon enough, 75% of this community within the next 10 years will be of Latino background. A situation that we're considered the minority, but we are the majority in terms of numbers.
And I mean, we just are continuously growing. For us to have somebody tell us that we need to stop, that they're gonna like try to make us stop, that's silly to us. We literally laugh at the thought. Like, that is just a silly joke, because it's not happening. It's obvious and it's evident that we're not slowing down. If anything, we're moving up, where we want those jobs. We want to continue our education, and like, that's going to become a normality for us. It's not going to be a dream anymore. And so people of other races and cultures, they need to be more welcoming and more accustomed to that idea. Like, they need to accept it, because we're not going anywhere.